Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer 3 video here for today. In this video I'll be covering all the new skill lines for the Greenskins and update 6.3, and then after that we're going to be checking out the newest feature added to the game, and with that let's get into the video. The first new skill line we're going to be looking at is for the Goblin Big Boss Hero. So they have about 6 new skills, but you can only get 1 of each, so that's about 2 in total. So the first one we're going to be looking at is the Gap Sticker, enables sundry attacks. You know, good against your armor, very good against chaos, they all are very much armored. Then you have Glory Steela, speed plus 15, passive ability Opportunist Murderer, armor piercing weapon damage plus 40% and melee attack plus 10, duration 15 and cooldown 3. Pretty good and recharges if engaged in melee, so it's very good if you're on the Giant Wolf and just trying to flank. And to go with that, you actually get the attribute Devastating Flanker. And then thirdly, you're going to get First Rule of Stabbing, enables disrupted attacks, silence enemies, and reduces physical resistance. So that's by 10%, and the silence, stops them from using magic. So any of these to kind of pair up with each other, because Glory Steela goes really good with the one we're going to go over next, the Barkin Pack. It actually is a passive ability Opportunist Murderer, but for the entire army, but only for the Wolf Cavalry. And then they also get Devastating Flanker. So you can get these two together, and it can be really good. And then we have Goblin Thinking, passive ability Dig In for artillery units in Heroes Army, and then attribute Snipe for Goblin artillery units. This is my favorite ability just because I'm a big ranged guy, I love artillery. And then thirdly we have Ramming Speed, passive Opportunist Murder for chariot units, and then Unyielding Assault for chariot units. So I would say this is probably the least great build. It's still a good ability, but probably the least useful out of the 6. Next up we have the Giant River Trollhag Hero, a little different from the Goblin Big Boss, just because instead of being able to only pick 2 out of 6 skills, now you just can get them all in one line. The first one is going to be Foul Diet, cooldown minus 50% for Swap Breath, and an additional 3 for Swap Breath as well. So you get about, I believe, 6 uses out of it, which is pretty good. And then we have Fetid Regeneration, incoming healing modifier plus 25%, and Battle Healing Cap plus 50. As you know, I'm a big fan of Regeneration, and them adding this healing cap is really big. And then we have Horrible Smell, effective range plus 50 for Reveling Older, and then an attribute immune to contact effects. Again, really good for such a hero like this, because they can fight in melee and do a bunch of spells at the same time. Then we got Bone Snapper, melee attack plus 10 and melee defense plus 5, and then attribute cost Terror. Again, pretty good, nothing too crazy with that one. And then lastly, Miasma, spell intensity plus 50 for Doom and Darkness and Soulblight. So that would be right here. So just a bit more leadership can go down. And then I believe it was Soulblight, which I think I just passed. Yeah, right here. So yeah, this is good. Just some nerfs because people don't really use these spells all too much. I do use Doom and Darkness a lot just because leadership really helps when you're fighting certain armies. Again, I like this a lot. Hopefully we can get more skill lines where you can just get them all instead of just picking between 2. And very similar to the Goblin Big Boss, the Black Orc Big Boss Hero also has 6 skills that you can only pick 2, sadly. So the first of those is going to be the Boss of the Field. Effect duration minus 20 to get back here and smash them faster. Effect range 20% for the same ability. Cooldown minus 30 as well. So that's really good. I think it's just a boost ability, like get back here is just leadership. And then smash them faster again is just, melee attack and leadership. So that's really good if you want to boost your army, especially if it's like full of goblins. And then next up we have Heroic Killing Blow. Ability gives you the same name. Base weapon damage plus 50% and armor plus 50% as well for 25 seconds. Again, good ability, especially good for heroes. Then one Orc Army, Assault Garrison additional 15% casualties, Assault Units gain additional 10% casualties, and Hero Action cost minus 20%. So these are decent. I would definitely take Boss into Field probably over a lot of these. And then we have Harder Than Ard, attribute 360 missile block, and an armor plus 20. This is probably, I would say, the best because these guys, yeah, they're not the biggest unit on the field, but they're really easy to get hit. So on top of them having all this armor and being shielded with that 360, you don't have to worry about any chariots behind or any artillery really. Then we got Runt Choppa, splash attack power plus 50% and bonus versus infantry plus 30. Again, really good. I love seeing splash attack being thrown a lot more. Really helps out to clear out chaff. And then we have Gift Smasher, bonus versus large plus 20, attribute charge reflection, and attribute expert charge defense. So this is really good if you're fighting Bretonia or like an army with a lot of cavalry. I like these, probably my favorite amount of skills. Again, I would recommend Harder Than Ard just for the missile block. It's so good. Especially, with the High Elves getting DLC soon, I can imagine you'll be fighting a lot more missile armies very soon. And lastly, we're going to be checking out the Night Goblin Warboss's new skill line. Very similar to the Giant River Troll Hag, but instead it's going to be for a Lord type. The skills are just in order. You don't have to pick 2 out of 6 or, pick one and the others are locked. You can just get one right after the other. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is Man Stabba, armor piercing weapon damage plus 45 and bonus for his inventory plus 15. That's pretty good, especially for a character that's not really known for taking out chaff. And now we're going to move on to the Grin and Loony. Passive ability Frenzy and attribute causes fear. Again, all kind of adds up to where you can throw them against infantry and not really worry about them. Then we got Cunning Movement, Speed plus 15, attribute Strider, and passive ability Wayfarer. This is really good because if you put them on a Great Cave Squid, you can definitely get around and like obliterate their armor, like all their archers and whatnot, or their artillery. Then we have Shrooms is good eating. Population surplus 1 for newly captured settlements and attribute immune to contact effects. Immune to contact effects is really good, but I would say the population surplus probably really helps out with expansion. Like if you're having trouble building, you would probably just get a bunch of these lords. Like in 10 turns, you'd be really set. And the last of the abilities that we're looking at is You All Dying First. Ward save plus 10% and passive ability Guardian for all units except lords and heroes. So that's pretty good. I like that a lot. Kind of funny though that it's except for lords and heroes, because usually this is affected if it's lords or heroes. So that's pretty good. And the ward save is, again, you could probably just stack that up to 90 like it says there. So overall, I'm really glad that they've kind of changed them, kind of added them. Because as you know before, I would say, besides maybe the Giant River Troll Hag, the skill lines were very much lacking because you kind of just get your one line and all the ones at the top. And with that said, I am really happy that a lot of old factions are getting new skills like this, even though the Greenskins did have a DLC almost a year ago, which kind of shocking. None of this was, part of that. But again, I'm glad that it's not like they get a DLC and they're never touching this faction again. So with this update, it really shows that they do care about most factions, even if it's not Bretonnia. That at least they're going to get something in the future, Now this newest feature isn't new, it is a feature from Pharoh kind of ported over to Warhammer. It's kind of cool if you like it. It's just blood spatter on the screen. Nothing too special. It's off by default, but you can go into your settings like most things and just turn it on. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of such things like this, but I can definitely see people, trying to add more immersion into it. Definitely if you have the Blood God DLC. So again, I didn't really know where to put this. I didn't want to make a whole video about this segment. So I figured I could add it onto here just for those who are interested to see it. I think it's kind of neat, and anything like this is just, more flavor to the game. That's going to be it for the video. Let me know down below what new skills you're excited to try. Maybe a new Greenskin campaign you want to try. Maybe there's other lords and heroes that you think maybe deserve some new skill lines that are outdated. Maybe Norska, wink wink. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Check out the channel for any new news or any more content we're going to be bringing to you soon. Again, working real hard for you guys, and I got more videos in the works, and I will see you next time.